We've all been there, right? Or at least we know someone who's gone through it. That deep, all-consuming pain of a broken heart. It just feels different. But what if I told you that deep inside your brain, that emotional wound looks shockingly similar to a physical one? Yeah, turns out neuroscience has some pretty wild things to say about it.
So, this brings us to the big question, the one we're going to unpack today. It almost sounds like a trick question, doesn't it? But the answer, which is totally grounded in science, is, well, it's pretty startling. And honestly, it's deeply validating for anyone who's ever felt that physical ache from an emotional loss.
I mean, on the surface, they seem like they're from different planets. You've got the invisible agony of a breakup on one side, and the very visible, very real pain of a broken bone on the other. But check out that last row, the brain's reaction. That's where things start to get really interesting. All right, so let's dive into this overlap. We're going to take a look right inside the brain's pain centers to figure out what is actually going on when love literally hurts.
And here it is. This is really the heart of the matter. The very same neural machinery that lights up when you break a bone, it also fires up when you get rejected. Your brain has this network. It's often called the pain matrix. And the crazy thing is, it often doesn't make a huge distinction between physical and emotional pain.
And we can even get specific. We're talking about regions like the anterior cingulate cortex and the insula. You can think of them as the brain's, pain headquarters. They're the ones that process how unpleasant any kind of pain feels, whether it's from stubbing your toe or having your heart broken.
And this just nails the point, doesn't it? So next time someone tells you the pain of heartbreak is all in your head, you can tell them they're right, but not in the way they think. That ache you feel in your chest, it's a real neurological event. It's as real as it gets.
Okay, but to really understand the pain of disconnection, we kind of have to back up a little. We need to look at the powerful science of connection. What's our brain even doing when we fall in love in the first place?
It all starts here. See, falling in love isn't just poetry and music, it's a full-on biological process. Our brains are literally designed to form these deep, primal bonds. It's an ancient survival thing, you know? It helped our ancestors stick together and stay safe.
And this whole process is fueled by an incredible chemical cocktail. This chart shows it perfectly. When we're in love, our brains are just flooded with dopamine. That's the reward chemical. And oxytocin, the bonding chemical. People call it the cuddle hormone. These two basically hardwire our partner into our brain's reward system, making them feel absolutely essential to our survival and happiness.
So, if our brains are so perfectly wired for connection, what on earth happens when that bond is suddenly snapped? Well, we enter the science of separation, and a state that we can call attachment shock.
And attachment shock is the perfect name for it. It's not just feeling sad or being disappointed. No. This is a profound, jarring distress that happens when a bond your brain logged as super important and permanent is just gone.
This is why it feels so catastrophic. From an evolutionary point of view, being kicked out of the tribe or losing your partner was basically a death sentence. And your modern brain? It's still running that ancient software. It interprets the breakup like a 5-alarm fire, a direct threat to your very survival.
And that feeling of a survival threat, it kicks off this whole chain reaction in your body, a reaction that feels an awful lot like addiction and withdrawal.
Let me be really clear here. This isn't just a convenient metaphor. It's not like a chemical withdrawal. Neurologically speaking, it is one. Your brain got used to that steady drip of feel-good chemicals triggered by your partner, and now, suddenly, the supply has been cut off.
So let's break it down. Step 1, cravings. Your brain's reward pathways are basically screaming for their fix, which is the person who's gone. Then, step 2, stress. Your body gets flooded with cortisol, the stress hormone, putting you in this constant state of high alert. And finally, step 3, the crash. All those amazing love chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin just plummet, leaving you feeling empty, anxious, and in a whole lot of pain.
Okay, so that explains the immediate gut-wrenching feeling. But why does the pain last so long? Why does it linger? Well, the answer is all tangled up in the way our brains handle memory and connection.
This quote just nails it. Our attachment system, deep down, is an optimist. Its main job is to keep us connected, so it has this bias toward remembering all the good stuff. In other words, your brain keeps playing this highlight reel of the relationship, the feeling of safety, the fun, the connection, and it's that powerful memory of how good the bond felt that makes its absence now feel so incredibly sharp. The memory of the connection is literally what fuels the ache.
So, if you take just one thing away from all of this, let it be this. If you're feeling this pain, your brain isn't broken. It's not doing something wrong. It is working exactly as it was designed to. It's grieving the loss of a connection that it correctly identified as being vital to your well-being.
Okay, so let's just do a quick recap. The big takeaways are 1. Emotional and physical pain are neighbors in your brain. 2. A breakup triggers a very real, very measurable neurochemical withdrawal. And 3, and this is so important, the pain you feel isn't a weakness. It's proof of your amazing, beautiful human capacity for connection. So we'll leave you with this to think about. Our brains are built to experience the loss of love with the same intensity as a physical injury. That fact alone, it says something incredibly powerful about who we are. If the pain of disconnection is so deeply baked into our biology, what does that really tell us about how fundamental, how absolutely necessary connection is to just being human?